Snake, are you familiar with the animal model?
Huh? What's an animal model?
It's common to test a cause-effect hypothesis about specific human behaviors on animals. These are called animal models. The animal has to be sufficiently similar physiologically to a human. Let's use invasive manipulation with the nervous system in Carl Lashley's experiment as an example. He wanted to investigate the concept of localization, the idea of functions being localized to specific parts of the brain. Carl Lashley wanted to find where memories were localized, so he developed an experiment using rats to test this. He would have the rats memorize a maze, and then he would damage or remove parts of the brain. Different parts for each rat, of course. The idea was that one or more of the rats would become unable to remember the maze, and the damaged part of the brain of that rat would be where memory was localized. This didn't happen, however, and Lashley never found memory.
So that was the experiment itself. But how does the animal model apply?
Well, you could obviously never try this out on a group of humans, so the rats had to suffice. While the transferability of treatments from animals, like mice and rats, to humans is very low, we are still very similar physiologically. There are a lot of potential reasons as to why a treatment that works on a rat would not work on a human, so the transferability of findings about the neurological functions of a rat wouldn't be the same as treatment transferability. Although Lashley's experiments were carried out on rats, such studies have led us to reject the idea of strict localization in humans as well.
I see. Although we look quite different, humans and rats are so similar that it would be highly unlikely for that discovery to be unique to rats. Case studies on humans with missing or damaged parts of the brain have also provided evidence against strict localization. Perhaps a good way to look at animal models would be that while their findings are not directly transferable to humans, it's a good indicator as to how we probably function.
Yes, Snake. Similarly to Lashley, Maybert and Edward Moser have made fascinating discoveries about the brain by experimenting with rats.
Yes, I heard about that. They discovered grid cells located in the hippocampus. They're cells that form a sort of coordinate system that are used as mental maps of physical areas, helping the animal keep track of its surroundings. They tested the grid cells and found that the neurons firing plotted a path directly corresponding to the one that the rat had been following in its physical environment.
Yes, although the importance of the grid cell in humans is unknown, they are definitely there. Unrelated tests have been done where people have been temporarily blinded and driven to unfamiliar places, where they are asked to point the way home. The subjects were correct surprisingly often. Have you heard the saying that cats always find their way home?
But Major, is this ethical? It doesn't seem very nice to go rooting around in rats' brains.
Yes, you're onto something there, Snake. Experimentation on animals is very controversial. Most countries have set rules and regulations on how it can be done. A big point when it comes to animal experimentation is sentience. How aware is the animal of themselves and what is being done to them? Humans are regarded to have the highest level of sentience, followed closely by apes, and then insects at the bottom. Rats aren't exactly at the top, but they are aware to a certain extent of what is going on. It is argued that animal experimentation, while unpleasant and certainly not without its problems, is necessary in the pursuit of knowledge that could potentially save lives in the future. In the end, it's a question of what value we assign to the lives of animals, and whether the ends justify the means.
Organizations like PETA have strongly protested animal experimentation, yet they have been known to euthanize perfectly healthy dogs in their shelters. So is it that animals deserve the right to live, or that they deserve to live without pain?
It's interesting you bring that up, Snake. One of the most prevalent rules in animal experimentation is that the animals should not be exposed to great amounts of pain or strong discomfort over extended periods of time. I suppose there is no concrete answer to these ethical issues, but it is an important subject to take into consideration.
Yeah. So why did you bring this up, Major?
Oh, I just thought it was interesting. Alright then, good luck, Snake.